Coming up on Mountain News this morning, 2 weeks have passed since the disappearance of Joseph Miller, causing his family to organize a search party. And expunging criminal acts from your record is giving new opportunities to former convicts.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome into Mountain News This Morning. 6:28, Jim Freeman along. Glad you're along today. It is Friday, finally. Tim's in the Weather Center. Jim here at the news desk. Tim Drawbridge, our meteorologist with the latest weather. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Jim. Good Friday, too. Got some fog that's continuing to develop as we look from the station to the south and southeast. And needless to say, visibilities have been low. As you make your way into Harlan County, they still are less than a mile in a number of locations. That's the deal as you cross the state line over toward Jacksboro with the visibility at 3 miles. So take the pedal off the metal and make sure you take the extra time wherever your destination is going to lead you here on the 5th. All right, if you have to work today, yes, make sure you're hydrating too, because it's already very warm, just like yesterday. Dew points running high, sultry feel to the air. And yes, the imagery not picking up on all the cloud cover right now across eastern and southern Kentucky. It is picking up on this complex coming across the Mississippi, southern Illinois, western Kentucky. That's tracking our way for the second half of your Friday. So partly sunny. We'll call it very warm and muggy today. Scattered showers and thunderstorms the second half of the day and a high of 88. More about the weekend forecast, and a little relief is on the way. That's coming up in this half hour. Jim?
Thanks, Tim. Waiting to hear about that relief. Kentucky State Police are looking for a missing man from Rockcastle County. Joseph D. Miller, also known as Joey Miller, is 36 years old. His family tells us they haven't heard from him since June 21st. Miller's sister says he was last seen in the Greenfish area of Rockcastle County. The family is passing out flyers with information and following leads from social media.
Just waiting on any lead, any information that anyone has. Someone has to know. Joey Miller's friend is holding a search today at 12:30. It will be at the Grateful Bread Food Pantry in Renfro Valley. Miller is 150 pounds, about 6 feet tall, and has tattoos on both of his arms. He has a dream catcher tattoo on one of those arms. A Corbin woman is dead after 3 cars crashed at London. Officials with the London Police Department said the crash happened Sunday afternoon on Kentucky 192 near Community Trust Bank. Phyllis Darlene Hale, 56, died at the University of Kentucky Hospital due to her injuries. At least 9 other people were in the vehicles involved, including 5 children. The children were all injured. The others, adults identified, included 1 man from Corbin and 3 people from London. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office is asking for help identifying theft suspects who reportedly broke into several cars on July 3rd. Take a look at these photos that we're showing you. The break-ins happened near Jackson-Fairston Road. If you have any information about a possible suspect, you're asked to contact the Laurel County Sheriff's Office at 606-864-6600. Police are asking for your help to stop illegal dumping in Louisa. Officers posted pictures to social media that appear to show furniture and mattresses dumped near the St. Jude thrift store. Police said illegal dumping not only tarnishes the beauty of our community, but also poses serious environmental and health risk. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Louisa Police Department at 606-638-4058. School officials say they know now where the missing Buckhorn playground equipment is. It's in the hands of its buyer. Officials posted on social media Thursday afternoon saying a construction contractor informed them the playground was removed. School officials were later informed the city had sold the equipment through an authorized bid. In a second social media post, school officials wrote, quote, "This was not a case of stolen property, but a question of ownership and communication," end quote. Kentucky's Secretary of State is answering questions about a lawsuit on voting rules. The group Kentuckians for the Commonwealth says state policy violates a federal protection for voters. The suit says Kentucky is skirting a law that requires leaders to notify voters before taking them off the voter rolls. Michael Adams' office has been removing people who have died or moved away. He says his team takes steps to make sure only the right people get removed. Record expungement can reopen several opportunities for those looking to have charges removed.
WYMT's Chandler Wilcox talked with community members about how expungement helps people get back on their feet.
Removing something from your record often requires patience. Kentucky law says a person must have no new convictions in the last 5 years before applying. The waiting period can lead to barriers.
Criminal records create barriers to education, housing. Sometimes you can't go on field trips with your children.
Housing can be one of the biggest barriers. Jeremy Yeary says a previous lifestyle shut doors for him.
So it costed a rough process on being able to find a place to live, whenever I got out of treatment.
Employment can be another barrier.
It's more judgmental, if they ask somebody that doesn't have any charges, then somebody that does have charges, who would they pick?
Expungement helps remove those barriers, giving folks like Yeary and Stamper another chance.
You're trying to change your life and get some type of foundation back underneath your feet. You need someone that's willing to give you a chance.
A recent changed state law states someone can get multiple felonies expunged at once. Some are pushing for automatic expungement.
I think it should be an opportunity for anyone. After so long, it should just go off your record.
People on probation or parole are typically not eligible for expungement under current state law. And Hazard Channel Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Thanks, Chandler. While most Class D felonies can be expunged in Kentucky, Class A, B, and C felonies cannot be expunged. Paul Whelan spent another Independence Day inside a Russian prison. He called for President Biden to handle the matter as if his own son was being held hostage. Whelan was arrested in Moscow in 2018 and later sentenced to 16 years on espionage charges. He has repeatedly denied the claims against him. The U.S. State Department has declared Whelan as being wrongfully detained. Yesterday was a sweltering 4th of July as more than 140 million people across the U.S. were dealing with extremely dangerous heat waves. Heat alerts were up in 20 states Thursday. In Atlanta, the heat became so dangerous that the AJC Peachtree Road Race was canceled before it was complete. In the west, temperatures are expected to reach as high as 110 degrees in parts of Nevada, Arizona, and California, where firefighters are battling more than 24 active fires. Crews battling a fast-moving wildfire in Northern California say they're making progress. The fire that ignited Tuesday morning has consumed nearly 3,600 acres, or 5.5 square miles, in and around the resort town of Oroville. Crews are trying to get it under control while enduring triple-digit temperatures. Nearly 30,000 people were forced to evacuate, and some are finding respite at a local saloon that's remained open despite flames coming dangerously close to its own front door.
I stayed open so, one, people have places to go with their animals. I understand what it's like to have gone through a disaster and fire, and up here in this area, people go through disasters and fires on a regular basis.
Many of the displaced are sleeping in their cars in the bar's parking lot. The fire has destroyed several vehicles and structures. Its cause is under investigation, but it started when a red flag warning about extreme heat, high winds, and low humidity was in place. Talking with children about climate change can seem daunting, especially with so many news stories and differing opinions. But the managing director of the environmental education group, Project Drawdown, says there are ways that parents and kids can connect on that topic. Dr. Elizabeth Bagley says climate change is already shaping the future the next generation will inhabit. So there's a responsibility to talk about it now with the children in our lives.
There's a lot of things that are coming at them that can be really scary, that can be confusing. And so I encourage folks to start by listening to what they're concerned about, to learning more about the solutions that people are putting into place in their communities, and really being that trusted adult for the kids in our lives.
Dr. Bagley says there are also constructive ways to discuss the topic with climate change deniers by first finding some common ground like hunting and fishing and talking about ways to keep those activities sustainable.
A good Friday to you. Temperature-wise, 73 at Harlan right now, where the visibility's been running less than a mile since about 3 a.m. Jonesville at 70, Irvin at 72, 73 back your way at Williamsburg. Satellite radar composite not picking up on all the cloud cover across eastern and southern Kentucky, but take note of this complex coming across southern Illinois, western Kentucky, losing some of its punch. But with daytime heating, expect one or two of those cells as the complex moves across the eastern half of our state to be on the stronger side. And I think we all end up experiencing some bursts of heavy rain at a minimum. All right, as we head through time today, we get up to 87, 88 here in Hazard. But the better news is the fact that we start losing humidity as we head through tonight into tomorrow. More about that with the First Alert 7-day forecast coming up in just a few moments. Jim?
Thanks, Tim. The time is 6:38. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. A look at some of the new proposals members of Congress were proposing on how to handle the future of artificial intelligence.